Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to part 4 of our Angular team live streaming. Uh, Today we will continue on building our leaderboard of nonsense. I have here with me Fábio and Nauany. Say hi to the
Hey,
camera.
Hello.
Um, Last live stream we did set up the Google authentication. Um, Now we will focus on making the adding the updates for the logged in users and adding some aesthetics to our application. Um, so let's get started. Do you
so
guys
first we're
have
going
anything
to,
to add? Mm-hmm.
first we're going to review a jar that will fix um, the Windows 95 UI kit reference. So that's hopefully working again. So we should probably review it and um, and then merge it and then deploy the application again to see the uh, UI items working again.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have two pull requests. The first one has the last changes we did with adding Firebase authentication and a quick fix to the linting rules we had. Uh, it did prevent us from actually what happens is Husky uh, tries to lint the CSS files and we don't have any rules for that, so it considers them as TypeScript files. That's why it didn't pass on the commit. We just specified for Husky to only lint the TS, HTML, GS, and JSON files because those are the files that we can support. Um, so we simply will squash this PR. Should we check out to the branch and then see if everything is working or just squash? What do you guys think?
Oh, we already tested this, right?
Okay, yeah.
So I think that's fine to just question merge and then look at the following PR.
I do like the nice word mark. It's pronounced like noise. Noise. Okay, squash. Delete branch. Um, Now we are on the main. We simply need to. Oh, I probably should use git pull from origin. Is it origin main? Um, I know what's happening here because the origin main was pointing to uh, the alt commit and the local one that I had on my local was pointing to another commit. When I did pull, it did pull the other one. I don't know if this make any sense.
Uh,
Um, Normally it should work fine.
so you had your main was ahead of
Yeah, it was ahead of the remote one with an one
Okay.
commit.
I think you can go to a different branch, delete main, and then
I'm
call
thinking
again.
of a good way to do it, but yeah, for a quick fix, that's probably the quickest way to do it.
Yeah, just delete
Okay.
local and then fetch again.
This sucks. Sometimes you just need to do. Okay. How to delete this? I'm gonna be discarding all these changes. How to do that? Discard all. No, I stashed them. Okay, let's check out to this. Force checkout. Discard everything. Okay. And okay, we can do something. We can reset main on the remote branch.
Remote.
Yeah, can we do that? Git reset.
What? I've never used the reset command. What does it do?
It resets the head uh, into the place when you wanted to reset it. Like we can
Do you want to
reset.
remove some commits from the main branch?
Yeah, remove the last one that is
Oh, I
causing us
wouldn't
the
do
problem.
that. That's well, that's not a thing you should be doing in a real project, right? Changing the
Yeah,
main branch.
yeah.
So I would just remove your local main unless your local main has changes. Then what you would do would be save those changes into a new branch, then delete the main branch and pull the main branch again from remote.
Okay, so let's remove the main branch then. It's the quickest way.
Yeah,
Um,
and plus the plus is we won't be messing with remote code that others could be working on, so they don't get reference errors and any mismatch with the main branch history.
okay, delete. Ah,
Yeah, so
it's not
git
fielding
branch
wish.
dash d main will remove the main branch. And then a
No,
git
I
pull
think
should,
if you do this,
yeah, that should work.
if you
Do you have two remotes for leaderboard of nonsense?
git remote, I think git URL origin. I have this one, and
Okay, then
oh,
you can use the
there
git
is,
checkout track origin
yeah.
slash main.
Check out origin main. This sucks.
Uh,
Um,
could you type get branch just to check if it's correctly referencing the main branch? So it does say had detached at origin main, which is weird. I would expect it just to show that you're at
Yeah.
main. So I would run that command git track. Yeah, that track thing. I don't know. Try to type just git checkout main, and it will give you the command. So git checkout and then track -- track origin / main.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's as expected. Now when you push to it, or you shouldn't push to it, but
date.
yeah.
I think if you do git log one line, I guess. Head on main, origin head. Okay. So let's get started. And sorry
So
for
now we
the.
can review the second PR, right?
We can what?
Review the second PR. Did you merge
Yeah,
it?
the second one.
Okay.
Okay, for the second one, we had the problem with Windows 95. We could not see the styles with Windows 95. Let me show you the problem. We have Windows 95 on our assets, but it's not applied on the tag elements, for example, here or on the button. Let's see this smart fix that Fábio did, which is adding the assets on the index file. So kudos for that.
Yeah, we didn't need to pre-process this into the SCSS thing, so we just reference it in the index HTML file, and that works.
Probably there could be a better way to do this, but we are just having fun, so it's fine. In a production environment, I don't think we could settle with this solution.
Well, it's fine, but if you want to optimize the CSS file, then you would do it a little bit different.
Okay, there is this.
How would you do it?
My initial thought is going with using the glob input something. It's on Angular JSON. You tell Angular to, if someone goes to this path, give him this asset or something like this. I don't remember the API details, but that's my initial thought. It could be the solution and it could not.
So we would add a reference to the node modules folder, so the CSS thing would know where to get files from, because they were referencing source / something. So it will be like telling the SCSS processor that, okay, so when you don't find any files in the source, also look at the node modules folder that we're specifying here. It's something like this, and then it would find the files that were missing. It wasn't finding the files that were being referenced in the CSS file.
Okay, so we could do something like this. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't think that's the thing we would be looking to change. It's a different CSS thing, SCSS thing, but it's something like that. It's like adding a folder to be looked at by the SCSS. So it finds the files we're referencing.
Mark is saying, yeah, you should be able to add the path in AngularJSON somewhere, but I think it would be in styles and scripts configuration and not assets. We tried doing that, but for some reasons it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work because it was trying to find uh, the files referenced in the CSS file,
Yeah.
which are images and things like that. When I think Webpack or SCSS processor or something, it was trying to check if the files existed, and since we were importing them in our styles CSS file or in our styles array in Angular JSON, it would try to find those files that were being referenced by relative paths. Then it wouldn't find them in our folder. It wasn't looking at the correct folder, and that's what would need to be fixed.
I'm trying to look for the links. It's something like this: background image URL on the Windows 95 CSS. So it's looking to something in the
try to find something that references source or dot slash.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
those are the files. URL dot image. It's referring to this one. So yeah, how can we tell the CSS processor that? Yeah, I don't know. I don't even.
I know there's a fix for this, but I don't think we should waste time on this.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Let's go back to our PR and see the quick fix was this. Just adding the reference to the assets Windows 95 folder, and then it will know from there the path to images. So it should work. Probably it should work. Yeah, we can see now the titles are different, the primary button also. So yeah, it's working. Let's squash this, squash and merge, squash and merge in this pull request. Yes. Okay, let's close all.
Now you can just pull changes into your main branch.
I think probably it did that, but I have to double check. Either check in from here and see. Yeah, it did not.
Yeah, just usually run git pull, and that fetches from the mount.
I wanna fetch and see. Okay, sync changes. It did not. Okay, pull the changes. And now we should have it on the main. Where is the button? Yeah, we removed it on the. Okay, cool. So what's the next step now?
So now we need to connect to Angular Firebase to let the user change description and display name. And also we should show as the user avatar, we should use the Google picture.
Okay, so
the Google avatar.
should we start with the UI stuff first, or like do a
let's
top
try to
bar?
use the navigation bar from Windows 95 UIKit.
Okay, this one. Let's go
Yeah,
to docs.
I think we
Should
don't have that in documentation, but we could just
is it
inspect
this
and see what.
navbar?
Oh yeah, we do. Thank you. Yeah, so let's just look
Okay,
at the HTML.
let's do this copy paste.
Yes.
Probably we will want the first one. The other one just have a background change. Okay.
Yeah.
This should go to, I don't remember. I will go to, okay, so we have here router outlets. So probably it should go here.
Do we have?
Yeah, we have a
Wait.
sidebar. No, this is the sidebar. So side, main.
Okay, we
It,
don't have a header or navigation set up yet. We probably should create that component, right?
okay. Well, let's name it top bar, as we have sidebar here.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. Let's generate a component. I have to see the folder. Let's name it top bar. Hide this dry run here. The module should be leaderboard. Styles CSS. Should it be a standalone component or just declare it on leaderboard module?
I like standalone.
Okay, so if it's standalone, let's remove this and look for standalone. And let's see if there is something else to check here. The path, yeah, it should be on the, I believe, on the leaderboard folder. So it's
Should it?
src, I think.
Well, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Leaderboard, no prefix, skip test. Viewing encapsulations. Okay, should we skip tests?
I don't have a strong opinion on this, but we're not going to write any tests for it too.
Mark is
So
going to be mad if we did skip tests.
Then skip it.
Let's make him mad. Okay. I should paste here what I copied. And let's use this on, why is it red like this? Okay, oh no. We have sidebar. It should be like this. No, we need to import it to the module. It feels weird importing components in the imports.
Yeah, importing components is weird.
Yeah. Okay. Top bar.
Wait, but where did you import it? In routing module?
Did I? Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Should be on leaderboard module, you think?
It's the end of the day for me, so bear with me a little bit. Okay, this should work. Let's see. Yeah, we have a broken top bar.
Perfect.
Okay.
It half works.
Let's comment this. Sorry. And let's comment the CSS too, probably. Just
So
to see.
the quickest way to do it would be to make it fixed on top, absolute positioned and fixed, or fixed.
Should we do this on the leaderboard CSS file, or it should be the way I like to do it is like this, and always
Okay.
leave the CSS here
Okay.
only has things that are related to this elements.
So
Yeah.
that means we need it to be 100% flex spaces, I guess,
I
right?
don't know. We can
I
just
think so
select it.
because it's going to be on the first row, and then the sidebar and main would be on the second row. I think that makes sense. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but I hope.
How do you decide between flex and grid?
How do you decide? I don't know. They have subtle differences. You may have requirements that fit Flex better than Grid and vice versa. So it depends on your requirements.
That makes sense.
Why this is not taking the full height? Okay.
That's fine. We can check the height later. So it does take the full width, right?
We just need to fix this, I think. I don't know why it's not fixed by default with the...
I think we need maybe some rule to make it behave like a row or something.
Like a row?
Yeah.
It's having the default. I don't know.
Let me debug this locally.
A quick fix would be something like list style none or something, and display flex.
So we have top bar and then we have main. So main flex space is weird.
That's weird.
Where's sidebar? Don't see sidebar.
What sidebar?
Did you comment sidebar?
Yeah.
Okay. Put it back, I guess.
Why?
Because we need it to see
okay.
it working, everything working. Yeah. And then once we have it, we can try to fix the top navigation. Top bar. Okay. Sidebar and main.
We can fix it with list style none and display flex, but my question is why is not working the same as on the documentation? Do we need to do some other setup or something? Or we are missing something here? Okay, they have nav. It should normally work. That's weird. Yeah, you see this. Weird.
So we could have something conflicting because of the UI kit as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think once we figure out how to have the nav bar as a 100% width, and then we have a different 30% sidebar and then 70% main component, we should be able to, it should be able to work fine.
Yeah, we can just add a container here for
Yes.
this.
Um,
And this container will be the one that has the display flex and stuff. Display flex. And is it when I do display flex here, the time of this top bar goes to here? That's weird. We need to fix something with the
so,
UI kit.
so our app leaderboard should be display flex and flex direction column. And then we would have a div that is also flex and then flex direction row. And then you can have the app sidebar and main as we had before with flex spaces or with set as 30 and 70%. Top bar is still weird.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's what I'm.
so top bar doesn't need anything. Once you have display flex and flex direction in the app leaderboard host, top bar doesn't need anything.
And the main should be 70. And
Um,
yeah, it's weird.
it's working.
No, but you see this? It should be like this. The time on the right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's weird.
I think
Okay.
that has to do with UL list style type that has some padding and margin, things like that.
With what?
I think it has to do with some padding or margin. So if we remove margins and paddings from, well, I think it's going to work fine. And also remove list style type.
Remove what?
The list style type.
Yeah, to none.
Yes. And then what else? Notification is fine. We need to remove margins. I guess padding.
Feel like I'm just throwing display flicks here and there.
So there's probably some styles that we're missing.
Yeah. But the console is not complaining. Yeah, it should not.
Yeah,
Probably
but
there's
what
some style.
is on? Maybe there's something on the assets
Yeah,
that we're missing.
probably. Let's see. Where is the assets? Maybe we should add this too.
I don't
Well,
think.
it's using jQuery.
I don't think we need that.
Yeah, okay, let's not see this. No. Should we import this fonts too?
I don't think we need to import. I think the CSS file does that.
I think it's using Bootstrap.
So we should also import
Install
Bootstrap.
Bootstrap. Yeah. We should install it.
What they see.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
so
was
it
an
uses
unexpected.
Bootstrap 4. Maybe we need to add Bootstrap 4. Maybe we should just add a reference to Bootstrap 4.
Fortunately, it's using only the CSS. We can ignore the
Yeah.
jQuery reference. So let's
Let me
just
add this
install.
to the index.
Add what? Let me see.
Index.
Okay, CDN. I was about to install it. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I think that's enough. Should be.
Yeah, it's working properly. Let's remove the other stuff
Good.
that we added. Let me remove the CSS from here. Okay, let's leave this here and let's remove this.
The clock is weird.
Yeah. let's
might be using a different version than the documentation. So
in I don't know.
yeah, I would just remove the time class inside the span that has the time. Let me focus on that file. So it would be just removing this, should be fine. Okay, it's working.
That's weird. Okay. It's good enough for me. Now it uses the container, the bootstrap one. Okay. This should be 100% height. I think because of this why it's not taking 100% here.
I think we could make it a window instead. Maybe it's
View
cooler.
window.
Yeah, style it as a window. It's the Windows UI kit anyway, so better make it a window.
Like the container, this one.
Yeah,
Okay.
right, dialog
let's
to make it worse.
I don't know. I think it should be 100%. That's weird. Even with view height.
While you do that, I'm going to add the actual clock information.
Okay.
Time.
Oh, I think it's because it's inline. Display block. Yeah. Okay. But that's not the default behavior.
Which one?
Okay, it's taking the full width, the full height. The problem was it was an inline element, so when I did height 100%, it did not recognize that. But in my knowledge, all Angular components are display block by default. No? Or inline?
Let me see what you're trying to do. So you're trying to achieve 100% height?
Yeah. Um, this is weird.
Time is working.
What did you add to the time?
I created an observable that updates every second,
Ah, okay.
returns a new date.
That's cool. Interval every
Yeah,
1 second with a pipe. That's a good, how to say it, demonstration of reactive programming with Angular.
yeah, it's cool.
It's cool.
There might be other ways to do it, but it's working.
Yeah, you added the date, short time. That's cool.
Nested pipes.
Okay. Um, I'm struggling with this. I don't know why it's not taking the 100% height. Like,
So since we're using Flex,
oh,
maybe there's
it's
a Flex
no, the same
that
problem
will.
should be display block, I guess. Yeah. And now the okay. Well, what I was
So app
saying,
leaderboard is not. It's not taking the whole height for some reason. Might be because of router outlet. Uh,
yeah, it is taking the full height now. The problem,
okay.
as I said earlier, uh, in my knowledge, when Angular creates a new application, it's display inline by default. Is this correct? Is it displayed block or inline?
Uh, what you a div
A new component
or
like this, app leaderboard. It's inline.
I'd say yeah, I'd say inline. It's not a block.
Yeah. When you do a height of 100%, it does give it a 100% height, but because it's an inline block element, it does not take the 100%. I don't know if this makes any sense. It should
Yes.
be a
Like,
block.
okay. But
Okay.
not the container div. What the container div is going to be.
Yeah, the container div, I think it's picking the bootstrap container. It
So
should not be a container. Let's just do
So make the app leaderboard display flex and flex direction column, and then container. I think we can add container hide auto. Or, I don't know.
You can do the 100% here too,
Uh,
but it's giving this scroll, I think, because of the margins.
I
That's
think
weird.
that's.
Can't you reset the margin for everything?
Oh, I got it. You can use flex grow on container, class div class container flex grow one, and that makes it fit the 100%. Flex grow
Uh-huh.
and then one. But the app leaderboard um, should be display flex.
Yeah, but we need to make it this direction columns.
So make this display flex and flex direction column.
Okay, it's not giving the
Now it's
scroll.
correct.
Okay, it's correct. And we need to change the container padding. I don't know why we have the top part is why the nav is not taking all yeah, it has the okay. The margin.
I think you
Okay.
could leave it there for now and maybe focus on the. Oh, you can just remove the margin
Yeah.
bottom instead of. Okay.
Okay, let's start first with forgot what we did. Container, this one should
You
be
remove the.
display flex, and flex direction colon, container with no margins, margin 0. This should stay like this, and in the top bar you should target nav and margin 0. This yeah, flex grow. On the container here, where is the container? Flex grow 1 and padding 0. Okay, and why this is not working?
Should remove margin bottom, the class MB-3.
Yeah.
Just remove the
Okay.
class from HTML. Yeah.
Margin. Okay. This is cool. You should add a little bit of height here. Like height. Maybe. $50 is good.
It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, we're using Bootstrap, so no need to use this. Right? Just do margin 0.
Padding?
Padding or margin?
I think padding, because if you're going to use margin, then it's not going to, it's going to render white spaces.
Yeah, it's on the nav. Okay, sorry. No. This is correct.
That's because you added height 50 pixels to the host element, not the
Yeah, it should be on the
nav element.
nav. Oops. Okay. What else we can do now?
Okay, I think we need now a button in the nav bar that's going to show either the log me in please button or the user avatar button that will eventually show the description and display name component to change information.
Should we use the same login component and have the logic for showing the button or the avatar
Yep,
thing?
the same login component,
Okay.
I guess.
It's a standalone one, right? Yeah, okay, so let's import that to the top bar. Is it?
I think we're going to need to make some changes, but it should be fine.
Yeah. Why it's not? It does not know the login button. That's weird. Sometimes include language services.
Maybe the logic that will show the login component should be at the top bar component. So if there's a user, then we add a new log me in button, and if there's no user, then we render the log me in button, and if there's a user, we render the user avatar as a button. So our login component.
That would make more sense.
Yeah, maybe we don't need the login component anymore, but we need a user update component or something like that. User form.
Okay. So where to put the button? Should we put it here, on the right, or on the left?
I think both are fine.
Okay, let's put it. Let's put it here.
Leave one for reference at least.
Okay, so here we should have the logic that will show the avatar or login button.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
you're correct. But we should, I think we should change the HTML inside login to make it the
Yeah, to
style
be
fit the Windows 95 UI kit.
okay. Okay, let's copy a button from the docs. They look the same. Maybe
I
this
like
large
the
one. The large one?
what?
Do you like this one, the large, or we should use this with the icon?
There are some icon buttons that are interesting. The login could be one of those.
One of those? This one? What do you think of having this large one and putting here as an icon the Jennifer icon?
I think it would be awesome.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Shows a Jennifer picture.
Jennifer, I think Wade could send us but I think he's on a meeting.
Okay. Oh, span. Can't we just copy it from the...
I don't think so.
Okay. From Slack?
Oh, I'm not sure how that would be done. Oh, you can copy image URL.
Okay.
You can copy the
That's
image
good
URL.
enough. Yeah. We can add it. Oh, they're using a image. Let's use an image. Can we put an
Image
image
tag.
inside of button for accessibility?
Image tag is fine for now.
Why it's complaining?
You should
Must have
use
text
an
alternative. Yeah,
an alt attribute.
your ESLint.
Yeah, accessibility first, please. Jennifer is cool. Jennifer cool.
That's cool.
Oh, write it as you would, because the alt is used for accessibility, so you need to use the spaces there. Okay, that's better.
Okay. It should be 15 pixels.
Yeah.
Should we add it a little bit?
That's very good. Should we change the text to just login or?
There. Okay. And let's remove it from the leaderboard. From here. Okay, so now we need to add the logic for showing the button and the avatar stuff.
Okay. So I think we should take a look at the React 95 and get some inspiration about their avatar component.
Should I commit this first before we step in,
Uh,
or just leave
yeah,
it as it is?
that's a good idea to commit.
Okay.
And
Let's
deploy as well, so it's live.
Okay. It's fit. No scope. Add top bar and login button. Let's sync changes and let's deploy. ing deploy. While it's deploying, I'm gonna grab the storybook. I'm here.
Yeah.
And okay, so something like this.
Yeah, I'm thinking that could be square or round. Any of those would work. And I think that's basically just a border. I think it would be easier to just inspect what the CSS is, but I think that's like
I'm
the
looking
double
for something.
border or something. Yeah, border color, you can see that. And then bordered width 2 pixels and color, you have multiple colors. And the border radius at 50% makes it brown with half border one color and the other half the second color. That's really nice.
Okay. Let's see the deploy first. Open. Ooh, it's deployed. Here is the link. Gonna send it on the
Should we remove
chat.
margins from the button? It's not centralized.
What margins?
There are margin right and margin bottom. I think maybe removing margin bottom. Yeah, if you remove margin bottom, then it's centralized again.
In the top bar?
Yeah. Yeah, try to select the button, login button.
Like this?
No, select the login button.
Ah, okay.
because it's not centralized.
Oh, true. It
Yeah,
has
it has a class that is MB-2, and it
okay.
adds margin bottom. But we want the margin right because if we have a second button, then it's not right after the first one.
Okay. We should probably remove the async from here, or let's leave it. Okay, let's leave it. We can style it later on.
Yep.
We should show some. Well, we can add this later on. A resolver that will resolve the leaderboards here at the connected one, at probably the time, and showing some loading in the whole page. If all the observables emits at least one event, we can show the page, something like this. We can add this later on, it's not important now. Okay. We should now add the logic for the top bar. Do you want me to follow you?
The logic for what?
For the top bar? Or we should just style the avatar logo.
I think it would.
Yeah.
I can code it, but I think I would add the avatar button first, and then we can try to add the drop down, the update form in drop down if the user is logged in.
Okay.
So app login. Let's see. Okay. So I'm gonna use this as a button. There are probably classes that will make it round. You know how to
in
create round
Bootstrap,
borders with Bootstrap? Yeah.
I have an extension that need to just activate it.
Oh, it knows about Bootstrap classes?
Yeah. Enable. I think you can do B for. Come on. Rounded. Drop down. No, I don't think there is a round something.
Okay.
But there is a class called rounded something. Let me just search for it.
Take a look at what property we're going to get the actual avatar.
Border CSS.
Photo URL.
Bootstrap. Yeah, it's rounded. If you do rounded
Border,
circle.
rounded, okay.
Rounded circle on
rounded circle. Okay, so first thing, class rounded circle. Let's see how it looks like. Nice. Really bad. Because I'm showing the actual image URL. So image source. data. All user avatar. Let's see how it looks. Probably need to add width and height as well. Can you open the leaderboard
Okay.
app? Yeah, just to look, just to see how it looks.
Where is it?
Uh,
Did you save? You
yes.
have button.
Yeah, try to log in and let's see the.
Okay. You added all the logic. Let's log in. That's something.
So why doesn't it load the avatar? Is it because it's on a different domain? Can you go into network?
Okay. Let's see
Why doesn't it
the result.
avatar?
Where is the result?
So I'm getting a 403, which is forbidden, I think. Yeah, 403 is forbidden HTTP status. So not sure how we're going to use the Google image. Huh, weird.
Can we do a break here? No.
Break?
No, it's fine. I was just wondering if we can do a break on the HTML. That would be nice to add. You want to
Not
see
sure.
the data result? Probably there is a match in there or something.
No, so the image is fine, but we get a 403 HTTP status, which means forbidden access. But I don't know why. Probably because of the domain. Google doesn't allow you to add its image data into other websites. So
Let me see if there is some configuration that needs to be done here or something.
so for now, I'm gonna add the avatar source, the regular one. So assets, images, avatar, PNG.
Uh, did you see that? Did you use this attribute photo URL?
Which attribute?
This
Photo URL?
Hmm.
Yeah, I tried that. But it doesn't work. If you open this in a second tab, it works. But since we're trying to open it inside our website, Google identifies that and blocks it. It's like they're telling us you shouldn't be using my image, which is fine. So I'm just adding the default avatar for now.
Okay.
So
We should show if he's logged in.
try to log in. Do you have a overflow hidden for a class overflow hidden?
I don't recall an overflow hidden. Why?
Yeah, in
Do you see a
Bootstrap,
scroll?
because the image is going above the container, the button. Bootstrap. Overflow hidden.
There is an overflow visible. It's by default from, but it's not the problem.
So if I add overflow hidden, it works as expected, kind of. Button and the image. Yeah. So the button has width of 40 pixels, or okay, 36 is fine. Okay, let me change it to, let me edit this class as user avatar. Then we're going to add the, wait, is it login component? Okay, user avatar overflow hidden. Okay, it should be working now.
I'm searching if we can, why we can't use the avatar. If we can't use it, why it's provided. Okay.
To make us a Nayab.
To make us suffer.
Okay, let me try something. Okay. User data.user dot photo URL. Did I save it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's okay. Was a little bit slow. Maybe it works now.
Oh, it's working with the avatar.
It's working?
Yeah.
Good.
What was the problem?
I added a no refer property in the image tab, the last one.
What does it do?
It tells the browser to not add a refer with our domain to when the API call, the HTTP call is made for this specific source.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's cool. I was looking for a solution like this. Okay,
Okay.
that's
We need
wonderful.
now we just need now to add the borders, I think, border colors, and that's gonna be inside the uh,
The borders?
okay, why gray? Let me just try something.
Okay.
Yeah, the borders and border width 2 pixels. Can you try it again? Again.
Okay. Nice. We just need to remove this focus visible on the button.
Well, it is a button, right? We
Yeah,
need something to.
focus. I think visited. Visited. Um, if it's visited, what is it? Focus? No, not focus. It's forgot the name of the CSS attribute. Outline. Outline on.
Well, removing that is bad for accessibility.
Really?
Yes.
But we can use the visible. No.
We should have something that enables the user to notice that that is focused. We can make it noticeable in different ways, but I don't know.
The same. What's the other one we used for the Teams card? Um, visible.
Mm,
Yeah, it's showing the outline only if you are using the tabs and not when you are clicking. I forgot. Let me check now. I think it's focus visible or something like this. It's focus visible. This one.
Why does the border doesn't look correct? clear just when you click on it.
What border?
Well, to me, it looks like it's not white. Should be half white, right?
I don't see it.
Should be just like the React one.
Oh, let me see that React one. Like white from this side, half of it white and the other half is not.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's fine.
There's something
It's. Do you
going
have
on
this
with
border
it.
color?
I don't know why it's not. Maybe it's because of the background. Might have some transparency going on. I don't know. Yeah, there's something going on.
Yeah, it's not working. Maybe it's not something you can do with the button.
You think
Let's see
so?
how it's. I don't know. Border color. I'm gonna copy
Well, we
paste
could
this.
add this to the image then.
Yeah, it's working like this. Probably you need to add the 2 pixel and solid.
Hmm.
Let me do it now. This. Yeah, you just need to add the width and the style solid.
Oh, just needed 2 pixels.
Yeah, the border width should be 2 pixels and the style should be solid border style.
Well, it's already that solid is the default.
No?
Should be.
I think you need to specify it.
Let me see. Border. Uh, Border style, right?
Solid.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We just need to add border style solid. Okay. So we have our button working.
Yeah, now we
It
need
has
the.
the correct image, and now it should actually open a drop down with the form for updating the user information, description, and display name.
Yeah. Should we add the logic when it's logged in, like save the logged in user or something like this? I think there is something in Angular auth. You can it does save the logged in user on local storage or something like this. We should take advantage of that.
Yeah, so we don't need to log in all the time.
Yeah. I don't know what to. I don't know. Let's see. It's Angular fire logged in user. Okay, so we should have a out state something.
I think we do that.
We do have it. We have user async. Let me see. User. Could be something like this is logged in observable. Could be a getter.
Will that work on refresh though?
Sorry.
I don't know if that's going to work if the page is refreshed.
I don't know. Okay, so we should have a state something. State. No. Log. We have the current user. State change. That's weird. I was hoping to see some current user as an observable.
Yeah, but I think when you refresh, it's gonna lose everything.
It's not. If we use the behavior subject, yeah, but if you use the API, they do the login on backstage or something like this. I do remember there is a feature like this on the Angular Fire. I just need to know if
So
this
there's a
new
set
API.
persistence method.
Yeah, I saw it, but it's not relevant, I think, to our case. Set persistent. this will affect the current saved auth. Yeah, you see? So there is a saved auth session. We just need a way to grab this saved auth session. Let's use the same keyword.
So,
Okay. Auth session. If this 2 years, it's
maybe you need to set this on Google Auth Provider. I don't know.
Where? How?
I don't know. I'm looking at the class.
Okay. Let's do something here. Anytime. No. Past 1 year. That's yeah, in the previous API there was this auth state and it's unobservable. Now we need to find it in this new API. What's the version of it? Killer Fire 7. Fire 7. Save it auth state. That's weird.
Yeah. Set persistence. Yeah, I think you can still use the set persistence method.
What used it? Auth state. State. It's an observable. Create an observable of the authentication state. The observable is only triggered on sign in or sign out.
Should we just run this function before passing this.auth to sign in with pop-up?
Run what function? This set persistence?
Yeah, I think we just run this function and then pass it the auth to sign in with pop-up. It should be enough.
Wait, changes the type of persistence on the auth instance. What do they mean by changing the?
It's telling the auth class that it should use this persistence configuration. So we need a configuration that enables the auth class to configure it in our browser.
I don't know. Let's test and see.
website persistence, browser persistence. Yeah, it's a promise.
Yeah, we may not need the behavior subject. We can use this auth state.
We could just use this, right? And then you'll import this, I guess. And then would be from this dot pipe merge map. Okay, import merge map. Yep, I think that should be enough. Can you fix this? Can you format?
Okay.
Okay. I think that should work.
You should see the we should add a logic to show. I don't know. What's the intended behavior now with this in place?
I don't know. It should persist though. Yeah, it looks correct to me. Maybe we just need to weird. We need to perform a login and automatically to try it. I don't know. Or try to retrieve the authentication, or maybe sign in with pop-up doesn't work in that case.
Oh, sorry. just want to test something, if that's okay. Login service, user. Is logged in. Come on. Why I can't access this? It's not working.
Yeah, I think there's an extra step we're missing.
Yeah. They changed a lot the API. I don't know that. Why? Why? Normally we had you inject your auth service and you just go here and put a dot auth state and you get your observable authenticated user. And if you do login for the first time, AngularFire takes care of saving the authenticated one on your local storage, and next time when you log in, AngularFire takes care again of retrieving the token, making the authentication again, and giving you the user. So I don't know how to do this with the new API. We may need some time to search for this.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we should have something like this. Auth state is auth.
Yeah, that's what I did here on the getter, and I tried it. It does not give the authenticated one before you do the login.
Did you try to console the?
I just did this. Where is the removed it? I
User.
did this. The login service is logged in. I'm on the login component HTML file. I did
Okay.
this.
And what happens?
It does give null in both cases. You can see.
So
Let's see.
should we do that after we set the browser persistence?
I don't know. It should normally get updated. I don't know why. Can
Let's
we
try this.
make... Oh, merge map.
Stuff like this. Import tab. And let me change this to the constructor. So this is run immediately. Okay, got something. Yeah, I got my email. So this is correct. So we need to where, wait. This is fine. And then merge map user. If we have user, we're going to return a user. If we don't have user, we are going to return this.
Oh no.
Google provider. And then we're gonna have user user. User credential or user. So we have two different types now. But no, actually, we don't want to run this. We just want to tap here, and if we are logged in, that means we are going to run this user next user, and then on login. I'm going to subscribe here, I guess. That's what we had before, right? And a tab user, this user, observable next user. User missing. Okay. And then we don't need this. If user. So if we have user information, we're going to do something. If not, we're not. I think this is okay. User. What is this type? What is user? I can't see. Do you know what type?
It's type user or null.
User or null?
Let me type it for you. User.
How can we make that to be of type user credential? Let me see. It's possibly no. I know it. If user dot. Okay. Interface user extends user info. What is the difference between user and user credentials? Credential. Okay, so user credential. Okay. Do we need the user credential, or could we expose just user? User credential has some extra stuff that user does not have, like provider ID and operation type.
I don't know. I think we can use the user. It's
I also
Okay.
think so.
So if we do this instead, then that's fine. Where's merge map? Okay, don't need but okay. Why is this user is not assignable to no? Okay, return this. Okay, now it's fine. So this logic will log us in, and if we need to log in, we have this, and then we're going to use user.user. Wait, I'm missing something. Let me save this and see what the changes are. Subscribe. Yeah, that's correct. Google provider, subscribe. Oh, okay. I'm tapping inside of subscribe. Should be just using this or piping it. Okay. Now this looks fine, and we're going to receive the user information. And are you using is logged in somewhere? We also need to move this. Yeah. Okay. I need to close the ng container. Oh, it's already closed. Okay. So yeah, should be fine now. Okay, now it should be working. Use
okay.
user credential anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it working?
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah, it loads my user information now.
Yeah, on the constructor, set persistence, browser persistence, there's out state, tab. If we have a user, you omit. If not, we do the login here.
There might be better ways to do it, but I think that's working for now. So that's one way to do it.
Okay. I think we can wrap.
This is not needed anymore, right?
Yeah.
It's locked in.
There is probably a way of, as I said, of having the state directly and not handling this manually. But yeah, we'll look into that later on. for now it's working. Yeah. Okay.
So for the next part, we should be updating. So we have a so the user has a drop down, and he's able to sign out if he wants, or update
His
the
profile.
description and username.
Okay.
Great. Sounds great.
Okay. Okay, so I think that's about it. Do you guys have any questions? I don't think so. Okay, so we can wrap. Thank you guys for watching, and see you on the next stream. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.